Hey everyone, this is Richard, your founder and CEO of Lucro Life, and today I want to go over some binary training. What a binary is, why it's superior to any other model, why top leaders favor the binary over any other model, and why you should consider building a binary over any other model. So hold on tight, take some notes if you need to, but I'm going to send you on a wild ride on what a binary model is. So let's get started. In this presentation, you are going to learn what a binary model is, why it's the best model for income, how to position new personals, why flipping your legs can become a bad or a not so nice problem, what no man's land means, how a binary pays, more specifically how Lucro Life pays in their binary, what it means to get spillover, why building a binary or our binary is so simple and easy compared to anyone else, what a power leg is versus a paid leg. There's different names for either one, and you'll learn that. What taprooting is and what it does, the power of duplication using a 2 times or 3 times duplication process, and the importance of systems. Okay, so what is a binary? A binary is a 2-team system that is broken into 2 sides. You have a left team and a right team. If you look at the image to the right, there's a little dotted line going down below you, which cuts your team in half. So anything that happens on the left side of those dotted lines is your left team. Anything that happens on the right side of your team or that dotted line is considered your right team. A binary is also based solely on volume, which means sales, which is volume. So anytime you create a sale, that product has a commissionable value, whatever that value is. So as those sales increase, your volumes increase, and that's how calculations are made in a binary. It is not people-based. A binary does not care how many people are in your team. It cares how many sales are made. So number 3, every product sold has a commissionable value, which is also known as points or volume. Number 4, commissions are paid on the side that has the least amount of volume, which we'll cover in another slide. And a binary is nothing more than a company-wide matrix. So your position is placed somewhere inside that matrix. Anytime you look at a aerial view of a binary, it's basically every single person in the company. So every person has a position somewhere in that binary. Okay, so why is a binary one of the best models out there? If you look at number 1, matrices and unilevels are very restrictive as far as depth goes. So after so many levels, you cannot earn on those people. In an example of a matrix, that could be a 2 by 10 or a 3 by 9. Anything that's beyond those levels, you cannot earn on. So that's not really that inviting. The same applies to a unilevel. A unilevel, unlike a matrix, allows you to build an unlimited width in your first line of sponsorship, which means if you had 2 people or 100, they would all fall level 1 to you on your line of sponsorship. Now, it's nice that you can have that many personals, but history shows that the average person only recruits 2.5 people in their lifetime. So I don't understand the excitement over how amazing a unilevel can be when most people are never going to achieve what a unilevel can provide. But it is also just as restrictive. Most unilevels go down 6, maybe 7 levels deep. So anything below that, you are also not paid on. Now with a binary, if you look at number 2, it pays to an unlimited depth. You can be paid on every single person in your organization, even if you didn't place that person there yourself. So let's say you're on the left side of your sponsor, and your sponsor puts somebody else below you on your left side. Then those points, as long as you remain active, will continue to calculate on your behalf in your account, and you can match that on your right side and get paid on that person on your left side that you didn't put there. Okay, so you can earn on someone who just joined and who is 10,000 levels below you. So you could be at the very, very top of this, have 10,000 people in a straight line, and somebody new who takes the bottom spot can pay you some money. That will never ever happen in a matrix. That will never happen in a unilevel. More money is also earned in a binary than any other model. If you were to go out there and have a conversation with some of the top income earners in the industry, they would tell you that they earned the bulk of their money, if not the majority of it, through a binary model. The binary model is also built on the power of two. So in Lucro Life specifically, you only need 2 active personals and solid duplication to reach the top rank of global ambassador. A lot of companies have breakage, which I believe we'll talk about, where you got to have 8 personals and 4 have to be on the left and 4 have to be on the right, and you can only use a very small percentage of the volume that's in each leg, and then each leg has to have so many cycles, which we don't support. Or you have to have a ruby or an emerald or a diamond or something in each leg in order for you to rank advance to a higher rank. We don't do any of that nonsense. That's breakage. We don't support breakage. That's what companies use in their rewards plan to not pay their members, or just to make their criteria a little bit harder so that they don't have to make those payouts. And we just don't support that, so we don't have that. Okay, let's talk about how to position our people in the binary. Most people have no idea how to build a binary. Some people will tell you that they don't do binaries. And if somebody ever tells you that, they have no knowledge of this industry. They have no idea what they're even talking about, because it's one of the craziest things you'll ever hear, okay? Building a binary is easier than building any other model on the planet. I guarantee you, if you were to take 2 personals into any other company, you would be very restrictive on how much you can earn and the bonuses that you would qualify for, and or the kind of rank advancements that you would get. You might make thousands, but you'll never make millions. And that's what makes a binary so model, and more importantly, the Lucro Life model, because we only need 2. Okay, so in this example, you are on the left side of your sponsor. Okay, so your sponsor's in, he or she placed you, and you just happen to fall on the left side. If you were on the right side, then you would just reverse the process that I'm going to teach you now. So as you can see in the chart, your number 1 personal should always go on the same side as you. So again, you're on the left side, so you want to make sure that you feed your first personal on your left side. These aren't suggestions, okay? These are rules that you need to stick to if you're going to have a successful binary. Again, we only need 2 at any time, but we want to make sure that if we're doing more than 2, that we're positioning them right so that we don't flip our leg, and so that we don't end up having to build 2 legs when we only really need to build 1, okay? So you want to put your first personal on your left side. The next thing you want to do is get binary qualified. So you would take your second person and put that person on your right. When you do that, you are what we call star qualified. You're active. You have 1 left. You have 1 right who is active. So you are what we call star eligible. As you start to build, and let's assume that we're working in groups of 5, you will take the next 2 people and place them on the same leg that's shared with your sponsor. And the reason to do that is because we want to make sure that we are feeding that leg and giving it a chance to take on a life of its own and continue to build without you having to put too much into it. And if everybody would just follow this guide, get 10 people minimum over time, you guys would have the most ridiculous business you ever thought was possible. So again, if you're on the right side, you just want to reverse this process. So you want to put your first on your left, you want to put your second on your right, and then you want to feed number 3 and 4 on your left, and then put your 5th one on the right. Now some people will say, well, that's my pay leg. I want to put everybody on my pay leg because that's the leg that's going to pay me. So why would I put number 3 and 4 on my shared side when it's my right side that's going to pay me? Well, what would happen if you put all 5 people on your right and you put your mother, who loves you to the end of the world, on the left side because you just want to satisfy the binary? You have your 1 on the left, but you put everybody else on the right. I want you to think about this. Who are you going to get paid on? You're not going to get paid on the 5 people that you brought in. You're going to get paid on your mother, who's on the left side, because that's how you stacked your binary. Remember, we get paid on the least of the two legs. So when you do this and you stack, let's say 1,000 points on your right side, and you put your mother on the left side and she's worth 100 points, guess what you're going to get paid on? The 100 points. And you're not going to get paid on those other people on your right side until you bounce that out on your left side. So again, please follow this and don't listen to what some guru might have told you about how to build a binary. Trust what we're telling you, because we're going to tell you the right way. So once you have your 5 and you want to work on another group of 5, you would do the same thing, but you would reverse the process. So instead of putting your 6th person on your left, you would start on your right, put your 2nd person on the left, your 3rd and 4th on the right, and then your 10th or your 5th person again on the left. So you can see how that pattern works out perfectly on your behalf, and you have 5 left and 5 right. If you ever get to a point where you can sponsor 20 people and you can have 10 left and 10 right, you will have a business that you just never thought possible. Okay, so let's go back to number 3. Number 2 goes on the outside right. Number 3 and 4 goes on the left leg. Number 5 goes on the right leg. When you review the process for your personals or reverse the process, you want to make sure that number 6 through 10 are just reversed as far as what you did with the first 5. We already talked about number 7, which is a huge mistake, is placing your number 1 on the left and everybody else on your right, because that's what you think is your pay leg. That's the leg that's going to make you all that money. Well, what happens if nobody's building that left leg because they're all focused on their so-called pay leg? Then you end up flipping your leg, and we're going to talk about that in another slide, and you get paid on the side that you didn't give any attention to because you stacked your right side poorly, which is what you shouldn't have done. So number 8, don't stack most of your personals on your pay leg because that's what you think they need to go. You will risk flipping your leg and turn your power leg into a pay leg. Your power leg or your shared leg, that's the leg that's typically shared by you and your sponsor, because your sponsor is typically going to build that leg out so that you only have to focus on your right side. If you have a weak sponsor or you have weak people on that leg, then yeah, you might have to contribute to it, but please follow this system, because if you don't, you're just going to cause trouble for yourself. Okay, let's talk about this slide real quick. Flipping your legs. And this is what happens, and we just covered this briefly on the last slide, on what happens when you stack most of your builders on one side and very few people on the other side. Okay, remember, we get paid on the sides of our binary that have the least amount of points. So how do you destroy your binary? Okay, let's look at that green IBO that's sitting at the top of the tree. That is you. Okay, he thinks he's slick, so he's going to place his mother, the blue IBO, on his left, and on the right he's going to place every other person, because in his mind or her mind, man, that's my pay leg. I'm going to stack that leg as far down as I can. Okay, so that places everybody on the right side, which is his pay leg, and what does that do? That flips the once shared power leg into the power leg and converts the shared leg or the power leg that he once started with as now the pay leg, because that leg now has the least amount of volume. The left side should have the most amount of volume in this case, not the right. So what's this person going to do if they don't know any better? They're going to stack everybody that they can think of on the right side, and they might put 1 or 2 people on the left, just because you need at least one, obviously, to be binary qualified. So they might put another one there in case somebody quits or stops, and they want to make sure that they have somebody on that side for auto ship to, help maintain their binary qualification. So this person at the top, he's thinking, yes, I am binary qualified. I got this figured out. I'm going to make a ton of money. And that's a huge mistake, and I'm going to show you why in this slide. So what the green IBO doesn't realize is that mom is not going to build the business. And he knew that when he placed that blue mom on his left side. So at the end of the week, he's going to get paid on the left side, because that's the side that has the least amount of volume. See, he thought he was slick. He thought he had this figured out. Well, the right side is going to be my pay leg, because my left side is going to explode. So what would happen if your right side did explode and you put your mother in, and she just, for some reason, decided to go bring 1 or 2 people in, and then you see them, and one of her 2 is the orange person. that person brings in 1. That person brings in somebody really weak because they just want to focus on their inside leg, which is the right side for all these people. And then the red person has nobody yet. So you're upset and you're mad because nobody's building your right side, or your right side is exploding. I'm sorry, no one's building your left side. So maybe you bring somebody in, or the sponsor above you is also doing what you're doing, stacking their right side. So they just put like their cousin, the purple person, on the left side. Well, the purple cousin's not going to probably build any more than the mother or anybody else. So they might think, well, I'm just going to stack my right side too, because that's what somebody told me, is that it's my pay leg, and that's where all my people need to be, because that's where all my points are going to be. But guess what happens? They flip their leg. Now their left side is their pay leg, because that's the side that now has the least amount of volume. So as you can see in this picture, there's 5,000 PV generated on the right side of the green guy, the guy that knows it all, and there's only 800 points on the left side. Okay, what's going to happen is his left side is now his weak side, because that's the side that has the least amount of points. 800 PV, which is your personal volume. It really should be CV, so I'll fix the slide, is less than 5,000. So that's why you're going to get paid on the 800, not the 5,000. When you get paid, 800 will get paid to you. You'll lose 800 on the left side. You'll lose 800 equally on the right side, and the difference in this case was what, 4,200? Then you're going to go into the next pay week with 4,200 points on your right side and 0 points on your left side. Now the left side will continue to be your pay leg until it starts to generate more than what your right side is doing. In this scenario, if you're on the left side of your sponsor, if you're doing things correctly, and if you're not totally balanced, balance is a good thing, but if you're not, you really want most of your points on your left side than you have on your right side. And as long as you remain active, then any points that are accumulated on your team will pay you, as long as you never become inactive. So if you don't make enough points on one side to get that money, then anything left over will go or get carried over to the next week. So always follow the pattern you just learned, and ensure that you maintain some level of balance in your binary. So let's look at the right here. When the blue, number 2 on the right, top right hand corner, when the blue, orange, red, purple, and brown IBOs do exactly what the green IBO did, you have a mess on your hands, because no one is building the left side. You do not want that problem. Okay, and then number 3 on the bottom is, by not following proper placement guidelines, the top green IBO risks the left leg dying out, which means both legs need to be focused on instead of just one. Okay, this slide is called No Man's Land, and anything that you see in that red triangle is what's called No Man's Land, and it is a place that you never, ever, ever place a personal. Okay, if you look at those blue people, okay, you're the one sitting at the top. Everybody has an extreme outside left and an extreme outside right. So as you start placing your personals, they are going to go outside left or outside right. All those people in the triangle, okay, let's look at that little dotted line that's going down between the center of that triangle. Anything left of those dotted lines belong to the yellow team. So let's say you put your first personal in, and he's the first blue one on your left. You're helping that person build the left side. It is his or her responsibility to build their right side. So that's why you don't put personals there. That is their responsibility, not yours. So number 1 is no man's land are the positions in the red triangle that you never place personally sponsored members in. Okay, it's called no man's land for a reason. If you add somebody to your binary personally, if you do it through your link, your replicated web link, it's going to go to your weak side or your left side or your right side, depending on the settings that you have in your back office. But they are always going to go on the outside left or the outside right. You can position people if you do it manually in your back office in no man's land, but you're encouraged not to do so. Okay. So number 2, when you place personals, they should always be placed outside left or outside right. Number 3, all new personals go to the very bottom position that he or she falls on. So that's just the beauty of the binary, and that's why positioning is so important. You can join today, and maybe 5 people don't show up for a week, but then in 6 months there's 1,000 people. Guess what? Those 1,000 people are now below you because you were smart enough to take a position before they were, or you had the opportunity to take a position before they did. So now you benefit from that. And number 4, you will see those inside positions in your back office, but make sure you never place personals in those positions. Okay, again, that is no man's land. Always, always, always extreme outside left or extreme outside right. All those positions that you see that fall underneath that red triangle are the inside legs of your left and right sides. So that's their responsibility to fill those in, not you. Okay, so how does a binary pay? Okay, I believe we touched base on this already, but a binary model pays on sales, which is volume or points that we call commissionable volume, or CV for short. It is not the number of people in an organization. Okay, you can have 10,000 people on a leg, but if only 5,000 are making purchases, then that's the volume that you're going to get paid on. Number 2, as sales are created, each side calculates those totals, and one side typically has more points than the other side. In the example to the right, you can see that the team has 10,000 points on the left team and 6,000 points on the right team. So in this case, the weak side is the right side. A binary pays on the weak side leg, which is the leg with the least amount of volume. Okay, again, it's not the number of people, it's the number of sales on that side. If this was your weak side, then you would earn 10, 12, or 15%, which is all based on your rank. The higher the rank, the more that you get back for having the same volume on the 6,000 points. So let's just say this was you. You're at the top. Your left side is your strong side, or what's called a power leg or a shared leg. All those mean the same, just like the weak side, the lesser leg, and the pay leg all mean the same. So you have 10,000 points generated on your left side during that pay week, and you have 6,000 points on your right side during that pay week. Okay, depending on your rank, everybody starts at 10%. You would qualify for a $600 bill on those 6,000 points. If you were to get a few ranks under your belt, then you would qualify for 12%. So now, with the same amount of sales, the same amount of volume, nothing else changed other than your rank, you're now getting $720. And if you go up a few more steps, go up the ladder a few more steps, now you're going to make 15%. So because you had a higher rank, you're going to get back $900 instead of $720 or $600. So that's why we want to incentivize people to make rank. Okay. So 6,000 points would be deducted from both sides. That's how binaries work. Whatever number you get that you get paid on, that same amount is taken away from each side, and whatever wasn't get paid is calculated to go into the next pay week. So if this was you and you had 6,000 points and got paid on the 6,000 points, you would get paid on the 6,000 points. 6,000 points would go away on your right side, which would be 0, and then 6,000 points, which is the equal amount, would be taken away from the left side, and that means there's 4,000 points that you didn't get paid on. So those 4,000 points would carry into the next week. So when you start the next pay week, you're going to have 4,000 points on your left side and 0 points on your right side. Okay. The 4,000 points on the left team that you didn't get paid on, which I just said, gets carried over to the next pay week. So yes, you do get paid on everybody, whether or not you're paid on them that week or at a later date, but at some point, as long as you match that volume on the other side, you do get paid on every single person on your team. Also understand that the binary, which is what we call our dual team commissions, because it's a 2-team commission, this is only one of the 15 ways that we get paid in our rewards plan. And you'll see later on how powerful this is when you're duplicating the power of 2 or the power of 3. And again, we do get paid weekly just on this particular commission, and it is based on the total volume earned between Monday at 0001 to Sunday night at 23:59, which is 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, because our servers are in Texas. Okay, So, we have a theme, I guess, or you can call it whatever you want, but it's in by Sunday, paid by Friday. A lot of times we'll pay before Friday, but at the latest you'll get paid on Friday. So whatever you do between Monday and Sunday will get paid on the upcoming Friday. Okay, so what is spillover? Spillover is nothing more than having someone added to your binary downline from somebody above you. And this can happen only in the binary, okay? The unilevel structure is strictly all of your personals plus their personals plus their personals and so on. So yes, we do have a unilevel, and that does come into play for rank advancement and some other things. But for the binary itself, then you're only going to get spillover from people above you. You will never see, nobody from your upline will ever put anybody in your unilevel. So again, this is strictly a binary thing that happens with spillover, okay? That one person can potentially earn you a ton of money. So let's look at this example. Dawn is sitting at the top, and let's say she brought in Anita. Anita's a rock star. She's starting to build, but before she can get started, Dawn has another person that she wants to put in and just happens to put that person on the left side of Anita. Now, that's not Anita's personal, that's Dawn's personal, but it's considered spillover because somebody was added underneath Anita that Anita didn't have to add herself. So if that person becomes, let's say, $1 million earner, those million points still belong to Anita. So as long as she was able to match that on her right side, even if she did it in bits and pieces or chunks, whatever you want to call it, eventually she's going to get paid on all that volume that that person generated on her team, and she never even put that person on her team. So if you were Anita and Dawn, who's sitting at the position above you, places somebody below you, that is what we call spillover. That's all it means. Somebody placed below you from somebody above you that you didn't have to place yourself. And you can earn on that person even though you didn't place that person yourself. Pretty simple explanation. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so why is our binary so easy compared to other companies? Well, in Lucro Life, only 2 active personally sponsored brand partners who are placed one on your left team and one on your right team, and solid duplication, which is the power of 2. You get 2, who get 2, who get 2, is all that's required to reach our highest rank of global ambassador. This will never happen in any other company that I'm aware of, and I've looked at every company, and I've been doing this for 3+ decades. It's just not going to happen, but it can happen here. You will never, that will never be possible in any other company that uses a matrix or a unilevel. Why? Because a matrix, most of them are 2 wide or 3 wide, and even though a unilevel pays to an unlimited width, they're very restrictive on the depth. So yeah, you can bring 2 people in, you can fill out a 2x10 or a 3x9 matrix, but once you exceed those levels of payment, then you no longer get paid beyond those levels. And with a binary, as you know, we get paid to an unlimited depth, so it's far superior than a matrix or a unilevel. In a binary, you can earn millions of dollars by maintaining your active 2 personals, and again, just to reemphasize, that will never be possible in a matrix or a unilevel. If you don't believe that, go look at any rewards plan or comp plan in any company and see how far 2 personals will take you, and I guarantee you all roads will lead back to Lucro Life. Number 4, if every person would just maintain their 2 personals, everything else such as new ranks and the money will fall into place. Number 5, we have no breakage, which are loopholes or set rules that companies put in their comp plan to not pay you. So, real quick on what breakage is. A lot of companies will say you have to have 8 personals, okay? You got to check that box. You either have them or you don't. And of those 8 personals, 4 of them have to be on your left side and 4 of them have to be on your right side. That box has to get checked. Oh, well, you can only use 30% of the volume in any one leg, so you might need 50,000 points to reach a ring, but since you can only use 30,000 points, then even though one leg might have 100,000 points, you can only use 30,000 points because they only let you use 30% of the volume in that leg. So you got to check that box. That may or may not happen. Then, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you want to go diamond? Well, you got to have an emerald in this leg, you got to have a ruby in that leg, you might have to have a pearl or a bronze or a silver or gold in this leg. And if those boxes don't get checked, then guess what happens? You don't rake advance. You don't get the bonuses. You don't get the lifestyle bonus. The company keeps that money and you don't get it, but they'll tell you how good you're doing and how you, if you just keep on going, that you'll eventually get there. And that's true when we say that, but the breakage that a lot of companies put in their comp plan are just too hard for most people to achieve, and that's why we don't support it, and we do not have that in our rewards plan. And number 6, no binary company on the planet is easier to build with ours because of that fact that we only need 2 active personals. There's no leg requirements for rank. We allow up to 85% on any one leg, so that you're not just milking one leg. So that's what allows you to build your company to the top with just 2 active legs, and that's unheard of in any other company out there. Okay, the power leg versus the pay leg, and we kind of sort of touched base on that, but the side that you share with your sponsor is always going to be considered your power leg or your shared leg, right? The no man's land that we already talked about are the positions in the red triangle, and you never place a personally sponsored member in that zone. When you place personals, they should always be placed on the outside left or the outside right. All new personals will take the bottom position on either the left or the right. Now, you have 3 settings in your back office. You can choose left side, right side, or weak side. Our recommendation and the default is weak side. What does that mean? When you set the rules or the default placement to left, that means anytime you place somebody, they're automatically going to go to your left side. If you select the right, no matter what volume you have on either side, that person's always going to go to your right side. When you set it to weak side, the system's going to look at your organization and decide how many points are on one side or how many on the other. Whatever side has the weakest amount of volume, it's going to place that person for you on the side that's going to benefit you the greatest. So you want those people on your weak side so that you can get paid for those new people. So our recommendation is to leave the default to weak side and just go do your thing and invite and invite and invite and let people fall where they fall. Okay. Let's see here. Number 4, you will see these positions inside of your back office. Make sure that you never place a personal in any of those positions. Okay, what does that mean? Even though the positions are hidden here under that red triangle, you can still see them and access them and add people to the positions that are hidden under that red triangle, but you want to make sure that you never put people there. Okay, you always want to go outside left, outside right, and to the bottom. A power leg is the same thing as a strong leg, and this is the leg that has the most volume. So anytime in this situation you got 10,000 points on the left, you have 6,000 points on the right. So the left side is going to be your strong side because it has the most amount of points. The pay leg is the same as the lesser leg or the weak side leg. So there's many words that you'll hear: weak side, pay side. What do we call this? Pay leg is the same as so the leg that has the least amount of volume. So don't get confused about the different terminologies. They all basically mean the same. A weak side is the same thing as the lesser side, is the same thing as the pay side. It's just the side that has the least amount of points. Okay, so what is taprooting? Taprooting is a very powerful system that drives depth in any leg, and it works in both the binary and the unilevel. Taprooting is nothing more than duplicating the power of 1 in a single leg. So you can see in the diagram, there's you got 1, you help that one get 1, you help that one get 1, you help that one get 1, and so on. And that's what taprooting is. It's just the power of 1. Anybody can go out and get 1. So you want to get your 1 as fast as possible, ideally in your first 24 to 48 hours, which is number 3. You are at the top, so you want to get your first personal in as fast as possible, and by doing this in your first 24 to 48 hours is ideal, right? Money loves speed. Team building loves speed, so you want to do this fast. So get your 1 as fast as you can, and then between the 2 of you, help that one get their 1, and then help that one get their 1, and you want to do this like really, really fast. So Do this and focus on a single leg until you have about 50 or more people, and then try to do the same thing on the other leg. The person at the bottom of the leg is always the most important person, okay? So you brought in your first person, that's Mary. You love Mary, but she brought in Dawn. Well, Dawn's the newest person, so we love Mary, but Dawn's our new favorite, okay? Dawn just brought in Anita. We love Dawn, but now Anita's at the bottom, so now she's our best friend, and we love Anita more than anybody, okay? So whoever's at the bottom is the most important, because that's the person you're trying to duplicate the power of one with. So as soon as you bring somebody in, you want to get them to get their one as fast as possible, and following our pipeline, we'll make sure that that happens. And this is what creates a power leg and creates so much activity that you don't have to worry about that leg again. When you have a leg like this that just takes off using the power of one over and over and over, then that leg basically takes on a life of its own. You never really have to focus on it anymore. And then you can just focus on building your other side. Okay, let's talk about the power of duplicating the power of two. You often hear me say, math don't lie. I was even corrected by somebody that said, it's supposed to be math doesn't lie. Yes, but that's not as cool as math don't lie. So I'm sticking with math don't lie. So this is what's possible by creating or successfully duplicating the power of two over just 13 months. So let's just assume that you started in the month of January. If you can successfully duplicate the power of two, which means every personally sponsored person maintains a minimum of two who are active, you can see that by the 13th month that your income potential is $442,314. Okay, that's an annual income, $442,314. What if you failed by half? What if you failed by 50%? Would you be okay earning $221,000 a year? I'm going to assume that you would. Now, as you can see, your first level can only hold two. If you look at month one, okay, when you start looking at the duplication, the power of two, you got 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and then the right column shows the team by month. So the second month, those two get their two, so that's 4, but now you have a total of 6. And then if you look at month 3, there's 8 on that level because those 4 got their 2, but as a team, you have 14. And yeah, those numbers don't look that inviting, but look what happens around month 9 and 10. By the time you get to 1,000 to 4,000 people, trust me, you're going to be set free. But you have to stick around long enough for that to happen. You need to have a vision of 3 to 5 years, not 30 to 90 days, okay? So what if you failed by 50%? We just talked about that. Would half of that amount be okay in the next 13 months? For most people, I think it's an easy yes. Now, again, the early months are the toughest, and it's toughest on the mind because the numbers don't really shine. But as you can see, after 9 to 10 months, the numbers really do take off. Most people, they're in this for 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 months, and they quit. They go to another company, they spend more money, and then they quit. They go to another company, they spend more money, and then they quit. Okay? The problem is not with the industry. The problem is with the people that can't seem to focus and stake their flag into something and give themselves a chance to actually grow their business and be there long enough to see the fruits of their labor. Okay? So this example is just an income on the binary dual team commissions, which we just covered earlier, and it's only one of the 15 ways that we pay. So if you were to max this out and you were getting your $442,314, that is only one of the 15 ways that we get paid. Most people would be okay just with this one. And again, math don't lie. Okay, now let's talk about duplicating the power of 3. It's basically the same thing as what we just learned in the power of 2, but instead of getting 2, you're getting 3. Now you can see how much more impressive the numbers are, and how much more that you can earn on your team. Okay, so if you want to play with the power of 3, I think that's a good idea. If you fall short, you always have your 2. So I would encourage everybody to play with the power of 3 and then the power of 2. If you were to duplicate the power of 3, and yes, it looks good on paper, and in a perfect world, these are the numbers that you would generate. But if you did successfully duplicate the power of 3, which is you get 3 in your first month, that's a whole month to use our pipeline and get 3 people somewhere in the world that shares the same vision as you. Then the next month, they're going to go out and get their 3 people. The month after that, the 3 people that they brought in will get their 3 people. Okay, and you just keep duplicating this process for 12 months. If you can successfully do that, you can see that your annual income is $21 million. Okay, math doesn't lie. Again, math don't lie. Okay, so 21 million is not a misprint. That is an actual number that somebody could achieve if they just stuck around long enough and was able to duplicate the power of 3. What if it took you 10 years to do that? Would it be okay in 10 years to be making 21 million? Most people will never find out because they quit after 1 month. So again, if you failed, just like the last slide, if you failed by 50%, you'd be making what? 10 million, 10 million 5? Really tough year, wouldn't it be? Okay, so again, the early months are the toughest on the mind because the numbers don't really shine, but after 6 to 7 months, you can see how the numbers really take off. The numbers are significantly higher than multiplying by 2. And you can do this with multiplying 4 or 5, but I think 3 is manageable for most people. So get your 3, even if it takes you a year to do it, just stick around long enough to get your 3, and we'll help those 3 do what they need to do. And again, this is an example income of just the binary dual team commissions and does not include the other 14 ways that we get paid. And one more time, what do we know about math? Math don't lie. Okay, this is our last slide, and this slide talks about the importance of systems. We already know that people cannot be duplicated, but systems can. Whether you're Dawn or Anita or Ryan and Jolene Dr. Check, you can be the most amazing people in the world, but we cannot duplicate you. The only thing that we can duplicate are systems. So we offer 2 bulletproof systems that will take your business to another level, but you'll have to follow them and remain incredibly patient. Just like Rome wasn't built in a day, neither will your business. So please stick around long enough to see some success in your team and stop leaving every company you join just because you talked to 2 people and they told you no. Okay? Our 2 systems, we call them the pipeline and the go-getter systems. The pipeline is your playbook, and it tells you step by step what to do, what to say, how to invite, and how to share Lucro life. It's like painting by the numbers. So using the pipeline is incredibly easy. We've made it simple, but that doesn't mean things won't get hard, but you must follow it. It simplifies the process of you building your business. Again, it could be hard for you to do some things, but the systems make it simpler. The Go-Getter system is nothing but your accountability partner. It's a monthly check sheet that breaks down daily activities. A goal that you should shoot for is to get 10 points per day. As you achieve certain things, you give a presentation, you exercise for 15 minutes, maybe you read the Bible for 15 minutes, or you read a book, or you watch a video on personal growth for 10 or 15 minutes. All those little tasks generate 1 point. So ideally you want to get to at least 10 points per day. If I'm not mistaken, the max that you can have in 1 day is 30 points. So get to at least 10 points and you'll be off to your races. That concludes this presentation. That's basically how a binary works. You should have this mastered now, and I guess we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for your time. Bye.